Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, my name is Aji Satrio and I am an undergraduate student of physics at ITB. Today I am excited to present a review of the paper titled Simulation of Central Sloshing Experiment with Smoothed Particle Hydrodynamics Method or the SPH method. In this paper, the author explored the application of SPH, a measures numerical method, to simulate the complex dynamics of sloshing in fluid columns. The study specifically investigated the behavior of sloshing in a container during experiment, highlighting how the method captured the intricate flow patterns and peak formation that are critical for understanding fluid sector interaction in the real-world scenarios, such as nuclear reactor cooling balls. Next, we have the source, so it gets from the Elsevier, and its author is Alexander Vorobyev, Vladimir Krasnev, and also Werner Maschek, with the published in 2011. Now let's see the abstract. So the abstract shows us that the liquid sloshing is a phenomenon observed when a fluid with a free surface is subjected to external forces. It can occur during the meltdown of a liquid metal reactor or the LMR. Sloshing in LMR can cause full compaction at the center of the core, potentially resulting in energy to power excursion. This phenomenon was investigated through a series of centralized sloshing. Centralized sloshing is an experiment of a compact fluid in the center of a cylindrical tank. The experiment provides data for a benchmark exercise of a numerical solution. In this study, smoothed particle hydrodynamics is developed to simulate this experiment. The results were also compared with experiment also three-dimensional code SIMA4, that is a mass-based advanced reactor sensitivity analysis code. The simulation results demonstrate good agreement with experimental observation, confirming the effectiveness of the SPH approach. So here we have a list of content that we will present in this presentation. Here we will begin with the introduction and continue to the numerical model in SPH formation. After that we have a model validation with the two-dimensional diametric cases, and after that we will analyze the three-dimensional centralized liquid sloshing experiment, and it will end up with a conclusion. Next we will begin with the introduction. So understanding physics phenomenon is an important issue for NPP safety assessment because it can lead to make proper choice of accurate numerical tool to simulate severe accident. And central sloshing experiments were performed by Maschek et al. In 1992 for understanding phenomenological compaction of molten fluid in the core center. After that, central sloshing experiments are already simulated with advanced three-dimensional reactor safety analysis code SIMA4 by Yamano et al. In 2008 and Vigny in 2010. SIMA4 using the traditional finite difference method that have a limitation-based numerical approach. So in this study, I propose applying SPH method that is a massless numerical method and uses a set of arbitrary sighted particles for solving the Covan equation of flow. Next, we will see the numerical model in SPH formulation. Now let's begin with the basics of SPH. So it is a fully mesh-free Lagrangian numerical method based on the interpolation of field variable. Here we have a field function and also the special derivative of any field function. Next, we will have the Covan equation in SPH formulation for simulating the flow, and here we have the momentum conservation and also the continuity equation. Next, we have the kernel function. The kernel function is proposed by Liu et al. In 2003 and used in Poisson analysis. This kernel is defined as following that we can see on the slide, and after that we have the gradient of the kernel function is calculated using algebraic derivative of the curve. And also we have viscosity and density modeling. So the viscosity equation that we use in this current simulation is the combination proposed by Vorobyev and Krasnev in 2009. And for the density is periodically reanalyzed using so-called Shepard filter based on the interpolation technique proposed by Shepard in 1968. Next we have the model validation with two-dimensional diametric cases. So here we have figure 1 that shows us the illustration of the problem sketch, and for this diametric simulation the following values of the parameter that are used is the length of water 0.2 meter, the height of water is 0.2 meter, the length of wall is 0.7 and the height of the wall is 0.26 meter, with the speed of sound in liquid is set to around 2 meters per second. And after that we have figure 2 that shows us a result from the simulation, and the overall motion of liquid is well predicted by the proposed numerical algorithm. It is capable to catch important physical effects such as formation and propagation of the waves on the free surface, the reflection from the walls, as well as formation of the liquid drops. And finally, we have the figure 3 that comparing the result from the SPH with the experiment and also a various simulation that are already used for this dynamic simulation. So the SPH simulation results show good agreement, while the AMPS and VF simulation predict faster propagation velocities compared to the experimental data, which shows lower rates. This discrepancy is likely due to the neglect of friction between the fluid and the container walls and the use of two-dimensional simulation, while real experiments are three-dimensional. Now let's continue to the analysis of three-dimensional standardized liquid sourcing experiment with the result of the simulation. And here we will begin with the simulation without obstacle. We will begin with the geometry first. Here we have a figure 4 that shows us the illustration of the geometry that used in the simulation. From figure 4a is the overview and figure 4b is the side view. Here we have also the table that shows us detailed information about the parameter in use in the simulation, like water geometry, water height, wall diameter, water density, and all of that. Next we will see the result. Therefore here we have a figure 5 that shows us a result from three-dimensional sourcing, which case is symmetrical, so it begins in the center of the container. And here we also have the table 1 that shows us the sourcing experiment symmetrical case, comparing the result from the experiment, present work, and also the semaphore code. So the SPS-based algorithm accurately simulates liquid flow, conserve volume, resolve free surface effect, and handle small drop formation, which is challenging for a traditional CFD method. The main parameters for symmetric case are the time of liquid reaching the wall, the height of the largest wave, and the height of central peak, which are important for the analysis. The measurement of the central peak height is difficult to do with computer simulation because the liquid placed above the peak moves at the same speed as the overall liquid flow. Next, we have the symmetrical result and central peak discussion. Here we have figure 8 that shows a graph of height of a central peak obtained with different resolution of the numerical model. So here we can see that increase in the number of particles leads to the central peak height to approach the experimental value of 40 cm, highlighting that higher particle counts improve accuracy, while mesh-based method like semaphore tends to overestimate peak height to the ideal symmetry assumption, unlike particle-based method that better capture reward asymmetry. Next we have figure 7 that shows us a central sourcing, comparative view, and central peaks in symmetrical case. And figure 7a is number of particles representing per column in NP is 71 times 10,000, and for figure 7b is around 128 times 10,000, 1,000, sorry. And we can see that simulation with higher resolution provides a smoother and more accurate central peak height, with the height is 38 cm compared to the lower resolution simulation, which underestimates the peak height, so it's just 32.5 cm, showing that higher resolution aligns more closely with experimental observation. Next we have the asymmetrical result and discussion. So the asymmetrical is not begin in the center but a little bit to the edge. And here we can see that the quantitative simulation result for the asymmetrical case agree well with experimental data and numerical result from the semaphore safety analysis code. In this case, the central peak was not observed, but a distorted wave pattern formed after wave reflected off the walls. Strong symmetry in the setup plays a minor role, even with a small number of particles compared to the current solution. The Brook flow shape is effectively captured. High resolution doesn't significantly improve the result as the water behavior is highly chaotic. Next we have the simulation with the rod bank. So the purpose of this rod bank or the rod modeling is to simulate a blockage ratio similar to a real reactor pool. Here we have a figure 9 that shows us an illustration of three-dimensional central sourcing test series with rod bank geometry of computational domain. Here we have figure 9a that shows an overview, and figure 9b is a side view. For the geometry, we use the same experiment series without rods, And for the road configuration, it's 12 vertical roads consistently positioned. For the road distance from the center is 9.9, and for the road diameter is 2 cm, with the number of fluid particle, and also we have the number of fixed fluid particle. Next, we will see the results. So let's just see the point. First is flow shape and outward flows. So the flow shape in simulation with road matches experimental observation. To the outward flows is wavier, with 12 high peaks instead of continuous flow. This results in higher calculated outward flows height compared to experimental measurement. The next point is impact of road interaction. The interaction of flow with roads reduces the outward flows and destroys the inward flows, leading to a smaller center peak. Despite some differences in the timing, the central peak height is accurately predicted. The third point is faster liquid movement due to the lack of wall friction. So the absence of wall friction model causes faster liquid movement, particularly noticeable in the test case with roads near the water column, which result in differences in outward flow height. And the last point is the wall friction simulation. So implementing an artificial viscosity model for wall friction reduces the outward flow height and improves the agreement with experimental data, especially in the test case with roads. The central peak height is well reproduced in both cases. And now finally we arrive in the conclusion. So there is 3 points in conclusion. The first point is the SPH algorithm successfully simulated liquid sloshing with high accuracy and has been compared to experimental data. The second point is the study analyzes the influence of low obstacle and asymmetrical condition on the simulation results. And the last point is the research recommends improvement in wall treatment and friction forces for future simulation. So that's all from me. Sorry for there any mistake. Thank you all for your attention.